Oh, speaking of today's NBA, and
Mm,
speaking of a guy who I just talked about, Mr. Airball free throw man himself, Rudy Gobert, uh,
mm.
was fined $100,000 by the NBA because he intimated that refs were on a take during the game. So, Rudy Gobert during the game, there was a call that went against him and he felt some type of way about it because he felt as though it was a ridiculous, unbelievably bad call. And he put up the little money sign indicating that the call was a result of refs who have something on the game, refs being on the take.
Damn.
And the NBA is not having that. They do not want to even risk the idea that people would hint that there is any sort of corruption going on with professional basketball games. So this article says Rudy Gobert broke out the money sign towards the refs, so the NBA dropped the hammer and fined him $100,000. On
Hmm.
Friday night, Rudy Gobert did not hold back when it came to sharing his thoughts over some questionable officiating during the Wolves Cavs game. So yeah, no, we won't play those clips. All relevant links are in the description of this video. So if you want to see Rudy Gobert holding up the little sign there, you can click on this link. It's certainly not the first time we've heard Gobert touch on this subject. In fact, he's been fined for it before. But when you're playing in a game being officiated by Scott Foster of all people, the NBA surely isn't going to be kindly to public actions like that. Um, so here's what Goldberg actually said. My
Hmm.
reaction, which I think is truth, it's what I truly believe. Even if it's the truth, it wasn't the time for me to react that way. Goldberg said afterward, I should have not done that. I cost my team the game, and obviously they couldn't wait to give me a tech. That was bad. That was an immature reaction. Asked to clarify what he believes, Gobert said, I made some mistakes. I airballed a dunk
He
today's
did that too.
NBA, airball and dunks. Mistakes happen. Referees make mistakes too, but sometimes I think it's more than mistakes. I think everyone that's in this league knows. I think it's got to get better. Gobert wasn't done. I'll bite the bullet again, Gobert said via the Associated Press. I'll be the bad guy. I'll take the fine, but I think it's hurting our game. I know the betting and all that is becoming bigger and bigger, but it shouldn't feel that way. So he's just straight up saying that it has something to do with it.
Yep.
As we learned yesterday, the NBA didn't love it and certainly made that known. The NBA announced Rudy Gobert has been fined $100,000 for his actions towards and comments about the officials during and after Friday's loss to Cleveland. 100K isn't exactly chump change, even for a max player like Gobert. The thing is, when one of the refs involved in this situation is the same ref who was right smack in the middle of the referees of the NBA's refereeing betting scandal, you can understand why this was such a big deal. All right, so there you go. I don't know how the NBA can overcome this. This is one of the unintended consequences of legalized sports betting. Like I
Hmm.
feel like we're just at the point where
Hmm.
we are going to have to accept the reality,
Hmm.
whether it's true or not,
Hmm.
that people are going to wonder
Hmm.
what is the extent of any kind of corruption in games. And it
Hmm.
sucks because really just sports in general, but since this is an NBA topic, the person in me who really loves grew up loving the NBA, I want to hold on to the idea that there is some sanctity and fairness with the games. Fairness within reason, because when you're dealing with referee, there's human error. So people are still going to make bad calls because it's all subjective. It's a judgment thing.
Hmm.
But within the scope of that, I want to believe that there isn't outside influences impacting the results of these games. And for the most part, I still tend to believe that. But at the end of the day, gambling is legalized.
Hmm.
So there's a lot going on with this stuff. And I don't know how you figure that out. Like, I don't know how you can legislate purity in a sport where you can legally bet on it. Like this stuff isn't underhanded anymore. I can get on my Hard Rock Bet app right now and bet on NBA games legally and make money. So that's the thing is I don't know how the NBA can fix this. Like I feel like we are inching like right now college football is basically a free for all, like it's a joke. how college football is literally a free for all for NIL, and college basketball as well is a free for all. But college basketball, no one cares about it anymore because good players either don't go, sit out a year, go to the G League, go overseas. Very few of them who are going to make an impact actually go to play college basketball nowadays. So it's lost its luster. But college football is a free for all. And now what we're seeing with the NBA and the NFL in particular is betting is always going to, create a specter around how these games and these seasons play out. And it sucks, but honestly, I don't know any other way around it. I don't know how you fix or solve this other than to just lean into it more and just basically turn it into a Las Vegas betting spectacle where the end result may be predetermined, but at least along the way you can win some money. Like I don't know how you fix this thing, but it sucks because it's one thing for fans to speculate this. It's another thing for a player, an active player in the game,
Right.
to indicate that he feels like there's something fishy going on. I don't know what they're going to do about it, but I guess as long as the NBA and the rest of these corporate advertisers and these partners and these owners and the organizations can get their cut of the betting revenue, that's pretty much that's probably rather all they care about. Because I just kind of think that this is just all a money game at this point. Fans like me will continue to watch the games and hope for a particular outcome, but it just sucks. I don't know how they fix it other than to just completely lean into it.
Yeah, I mean, sports betting is taking over the lottery. In my opinion, I think people still play the lottery, but I think that's more of an old head kind of thing. I think the new wave for new degenerates is sports gambling, myself included. Dogon underscore SS on DraftKings. Send me an invite. I take your cash. Okay. Now, as we continue, but yeah, I think he should have got away with. I'm French. I was doing oui. I was doing oui bonjour croissant. You know what I'm saying? It's not croissant, it's croissant. It's like, okay, this guy is French. My bad, Rudy. You know what I'm saying?
No fine. Take away the fine. Yeah, he's French. No fine.
Yeah, but he want to double down in the interview and try to stand on business. They took 100 racks from him. Once I saw that number, I said, "Oh yeah, the league ain't playing."
No, yeah, they're not.
They're making an example out of him. And one way you do not make it to the finals is make an enemy out of the league. If what you're saying is true, bro, you shouldn't talk so loud. So now you might have to be wondering some things, coming down the line, man. Like, can you help it, or is the next team gonna get more free throws than you? Then you're gonna be crying to the moon, but the record book's gonna say you lost. That's how the NBA does things. So, so if this is true, bro, I suggest you keep quiet. Because now he's made an enemy out of Mr. Foster. And ask Chris Paul if you want to be on Scott Foster's bad side. All right. This guy here, it's incredible that he's still in the league, that he's still officiating games. If anybody else's name was tied in any other kind of scandal where it was illegal, this guy wouldn't, at least at minimum, not be in the NBA. But this guy is still officiating, still doing his thing, because honestly, I don't think nobody can shave points better. When I was hey man, once you get to him, that's why, you know what I'm saying, him, Tony Brothers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they know what they doing now. They got it down to an algorithm. What do they human error. Whoops. I love
I hate this conversation so much. I hate
hey man,
I really do, man. I hate this.
I'm sorry, sir. But so for Gobert, honestly, man, like top 5 hated player in the NBA. I don't know why everybody hates him so much. I mean, he's a bit of an ass, I guess, in person.
Yeah,
but this doesn't help his personality. Doesn't help anything. Throwback kind of player, man. In the paint, really don't shoot threes, block shots, post up. airballs dunks. Oh yeah, bro, you gotta see that highlight. I was like, well, why would he? I don't even know how you airball a dunk. It was still in his hand.
Yeah, well, today's players are better than the '90s. That's what I'm being told. Rudy Gobert has taken over from JaVale McGee in terms of like blunders. Like Rudy Gobert with his airball free throws and his airball dunks.
Yeah,
JaVale McGee previously was the guy who was the poster child for stuff like that.
and then in his
And
old
now,
Wizards days, yes,
yeah, right,
yeah,
yeah. Now, well, even when he was I think when he was on the Nuggets too, JaVale McGee used to be on Shaq and the Fool every week when he was on the Nuggets, just doing dumb stuff. Like, what are you thinking? But I will say, JaVale McGee is one of those people that I was happy for when he got his championship on the
yes,
Warriors.
yes, yes, yes.
I was like, good for you, bro, because you
Mm-hmm,
deserve that.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I hate this conversation. I really do because I just want sports to be pure, but they're not. It's a free for all, and so that's my thing. Is like, and we do this in the media too. We never consider the unintended consequences. So everybody on every sports network and every every pro player advocate in the mainstream media was all about player empowerment, was all about NIL and college sports. We love this. We're all for it. We want the players to get paid. We want this stuff. We think it's the best thing for everybody involved. Is it?
It's a
Because
fraud.
right now, college sports is an absolute free for all.
It's a mess.
Like, I feel bad for the people who are young people who are going to college because really the whole the sports following the sports teams of your university, it's being stripped away from these kids because like you're dealing with transfers who are in and out of the program on a whim from one year to the next. They're here and then they're gone. You're dealing with how well your university can compete in terms of giving a player NIL money,
Which is
right?
whack.
So it's a free for all. So
Mm-hmm.
like you're somebody who has gone to to a university who's like, and I know I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but it's still
No,
somewhat related. Like, you know, you're somebody like I went to Florida State, big college football program. But you want to go to you want to go to LSU or Alabama or Ohio State or one of these places now in this particular climate. You don't know from one year to the next what your team's going to look like, who your coach is, the best players on the team. You don't know anything. It's a free for all. You don't know whether you're going to contend one year to the next because this stuff is deregulated. We wanted players to get paid. We wanted all of this player empowerment stuff. We want to give them more agency over their careers and their lives. But in my opinion, it has come at the expense of the purity of the game. And
yeah,
I know that sounds high and mighty, but as a fan, it sucks. As a fan, it makes watching it and following it less enjoyable. So it really is a catch 22. Yeah, these guys are getting money and all of that, but it makes following the sport less enjoyable. I enjoy college football less now because of all this stuff. I don't know who's going to be on Florida State next year. I mean, I know, but I don't. I know what it is right now. I don't know what it's going to be tomorrow or 2 days from now when NIL stuff happens and transfer portal stuff happens. Who knows? So it's just a mess. And that's the thing is we advocate for stuff like gambling. We want everything to be legal. We want everything to be deregulated. We just want to flood the market with every single vice. But how is that going to affect the purity and the legitimacy of the outcome of these events? It's
yeah,
going to drastically affect it.
yep,
And if you that makes it less enjoyable for me. But
yes,
maybe it makes it more fun for others. And I'll gamble on a game or two here or there myself. I will. I'll place a couple of bets, but damn, this stuff has jumped the shark. When you have players in the game suggesting that there's some corrupt shit going on, that's how you know it's jumped the shark.
yeah,
So this dude didn't care enough that during a game it's being televised, right? I think it wasn't nationally televised. Because I watched some of that game. I think it was on NBA TV last week.
mm,
No, it was on ESPN. That was a nationally televised game on ESPN.
mm.
Come on, man, that's not a good look at all.
That's when they're
And
playing the Bucks. Who they're playing?
no, they were playing Cleveland.
Oh,
It was a
Cleveland.
nationally
That was a
televised
good game
game.
too.
Yeah, it was a national televised game on ESPN Friday night.
Yeah, that was
And
good.
that happens, that's a bad look, bro. And ESPN, they have their betting app too, ESPN Bets. So
Hey,
everybody is in on this. And so
right,
for the sleuths such as you or me, when I
right.
see stuff like this, I'm like, okay, well, how deep does this thing go? How much is the impact is the outcome of this game being impacted by these things? And the fan in me doesn't like it. The person who's looking to make money, maybe I can accept it, but at the end of the day, I'm a fan first and a gambling second, not the other way around. And so the fan in me doesn't like this stuff, and really, it makes the games way less enjoyable to watch. It really does.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I agree. Last thing I'll say is, when it comes to me with the gambling stuff, man, I look at it like, to me, it's like it's like gaming. It's kind of like I'm competing against other people. I also want to win, but I also want to just one up the next person. I was smarter than you. My intuition's higher. It's got some weird stuff going on there. But that's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
that's why I like doing it, man. It's a fun. I like the game, but I also treat it like, if I went, out for a drink somewhere and it's like, okay, well, this is the max I'm willing to spend tonight. Oh, this is I'm not, out here trying to, whatever, whoop de whoop. But again, man, it's a slippery slope. And they are introducing a lot of people into this lane of sports gambling. It is the wave. And the reason why is because these companies are making a lot of money on bad gamblers.
yes, yeah,
And so, free deposit bonus, anything that's saying a free deposit bonus up to $500, bro, be sketchy. They're not just giving away $500. So, you gonna lose. So, yeah, man. So these sports books and all of this stuff, Vegas, they're all in cahoots, man. It is what it is. Honestly, to me, it's just WWE. The NFL and the NBA, honestly, are just jokes to me at this point. It's sad that it's come to this, but every once in a while they'll let a game go, I think, and they'll just let things happen. But when it's crunch time and they got their agenda to push and they got a team to get into a playoff or whatever, you start to see some wonky stuff. You start to see some wonky stuff, but we've all known it. Oh man, look at these calls. They just won a game 7. We already knew that. We already knew that. But now with these sports books, it's deeper than just playoff runs and ratings. It's individual games. It's props. There's all kinds of things going on in one Cleveland Cavalier Timberwolf game. This ain't the Lakers and Celtics. And so his whole point was, hey man, there was a series of calls that led to me doing this. Because I had my suspicions. But now you're doing it. I'm watching you.
yeah,
We,
yeah,
we, we, we. So, hey, man, next time, Mr. Gobert, all right, man, just tell him that you're French and you don't habla any English.
yeah. Rudy Gobert is not doing himself any favors, man, because he was persona non grata because of what he did during the pandemic, when he was making a joke when he was touching and breathing on the
Yeah,
microphones.
man,
So
boy, wow.
he was already on a lot of people's shit list with that. And then there's this and him choking out Draymond Green. So
No, he got
he
choked out by Draymond. And by
oh
the
yeah,
way,
Draymond put him in a
Draymond
headlock.
got Draymond got fined 25K for choking him out. This man got
Yeah,
100K for doing that. Hey, lead priorities, baby. Don't mess with
yeah,
us.
man.
Don't
Yeah,
mess with us.
I hate this, man. Whatever. It is what it is. I have to find another outlet to put my faith in, because yeah, it's just a free for all at this point. All sports are a free for all.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
High school sports at this point are probably the only sports left that are not free for alls.
I don't know, bro. It's kind of. We'll talk about that too, but that's going off the rails too, man. Everything.
It's so sad.